Sweet, another video game review. I'm excited. This is going to be an awesome review. Hey guys, welcome to another video game review. For this edition, I shall be reviewing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. Man, what can I say about this game? Fans, including myself, consider this Zelda game one of the best Zelda games of all time. And that's highly debatable now since Breath of the Wild just came out. But anyhow, I have played this game as a kid, and I've still played this game nowadays. And I truly enjoy this game, and I'll go more into detail as to why I enjoy this game in this review today. So yeah, let's get started, shall we? I'll be reviewing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64. What can I say about this game that hasn't been said a million times? Fans have been considering this game to be the best Zelda game in all of the franchise. And not only that, people consider this video game one of the best video games ever made. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time had such a huge impact on video games when it came out, honestly, because this game just had a deep story, this game had a huge adventure, this game was also the first 3D Zelda game that came out, and truly changed the franchise forever. So The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was an important direction to go in the Zelda series. But the question is, did The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time make the shift to 3D as well as other Nintendo games like Mario, Kirby, and Pokemon? Well, we'll find out in this review today. So without further ado, I'll be reviewing The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. The game is centered around a pretty deep story involving Ganondorf entering the Sacred Realm and taking the Triforce. I'll go more in depth on the story later. Not only that, this game has amazing gameplay, awesome dungeons, awesome bosses, a bunch of side quests. This game truly has so much for a Zelda game, and what possibly is the game's biggest strength in my opinion is just the sheer amount of fact of how many dungeons there are in this game. There are 9 main dungeons to my knowledge if you include Ganondorf's castle. This game is just a lot of fun and I enjoy this game quite a bit. Okay, I'm going to talk about the development history of this game. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time was developed concurrently with Super Mario 64. Nintendo decided to release Super Mario 64 as a launch title and decided to release The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time later on the Nintendo 64 DD. We all know the story with the Nintendo 64 DD. It was pretty much a flop and a failure. Because of that, Nintendo decided to release the game on the actual Nintendo 64, and the game came out on November 21st, 1998. When it comes to The Legend of Zelda in general, the story is a huge aspect of almost every Zelda game, and The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is no different. Let's touch base on the story of this game, shall we? Your journey begins with your fairy Navi, who is your companion throughout your entire journey. Link embarks in the Great Deku Tree to unlift the curse that was put upon him. The Deku Tree gives him the spiritual stone and says that it was too late, and the tree ends up dying. Link then finds Princess Zelda, who says that Ganondorf wants to take over Hyrule. Link then goes to Goron Mountain to get the other spiritual stone, a fire, then goes to Zora's Domain and gets the third spiritual stone. It is too late. As Ganondorf chases after Zelda, who runs away with Impa, Link uses the Ocarina of Time to enter the sacred realm, but he ends up sealing himself for 7 years. During that time, Ganondorf enters the sacred realm, steals the Triforce of Power, and completely takes over Hyrule. Now Link, older, must go awaken the other sages and go to different temples to stop Ganondorf's plans once and for all. I really enjoyed the story in this game. The story was really good in this game. It was entertaining throughout almost the entire game. And really, this is a story-driven Zelda game done really well. And I've played a lot of Zelda games. I really enjoy Majora's Mask story. I really enjoy Link's Awakening story. But if I were to pick one that really kept me engaged, it would probably have to be Ocarina of Time. Okay, let's talk about the gameplay of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time now. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is such a fun game. Now the game is a story progression game, but throughout the way the dungeons you visit are so much fun. This game has so many awesome boss battles, there are so many great areas to visit, and you can get so many different items along the way. Not only that, this game has a lot of side quests, and these side quests are also optional, which is nice. It could be changing a certain type of weapon or getting heart pieces, you name it. This game truly has so much to offer. And not only that, Link's abilities are also very good in this game as well. He can use bombs, arrows, he has his sword and shield, and he is very versatile in this game. Now the game starts off with you as young Link exploring the first 3 dungeons, inside Great Deku Tree, and then there's the Goron and the Zora dungeons. Now these dungeons were a lot of fun, and the Great Deku Tree dungeon is a great way to introduce the future dungeons coming up. The only complaint I have about the dungeons is that most of the time they take over an hour to beat, so patience is really expected out of the player. When you're Adult Link, there are 5 dungeons, and what I really like about Adult Link as well is that you can get Epona, which makes traveling so much faster. This game offers so much of its gameplay. This is such a fun Zelda game. It has side quests, weapons to get, bosses to fight. This game truly is one of the biggest Zelda games in the series. The next Mr. we review will be Paper Mario for the Nintendo 64. Paper Mario came out back in the year 2001 and was developed by Intelligent Systems and Nintendo. There's one really cool aspect to Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, and that has to be the boss battles. I'm serious, the boss battles in this game were very enjoyable. Each boss battle felt very different, and each one stands out so differently from one another. My favorite boss battles are against Ganondorf and Volvagia. I also enjoy King Dodongo as well. Out of all the video games I have played, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time has the most creative boss battles I have seen from a video game, and trust me, that's saying a lot. Okay, it's time to talk about the positive aspects of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. So, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This is definitely a well-crafted video game. So, out of all the positive aspects I have previously mentioned in this review, which one comes to mind for me? Well, quite possibly the biggest positive to me is the side quests. It is very awesome. It's motivating as a player knowing that I can collect many of the heart pieces out there, and knowing that it improves Link is awesome. I like how when you visit the Great Fairy, they can give you power-ups as well. Not only that, the Big Goron side quest, that's an awesome side quest in this game. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time, the biggest positive for me is the side quests. So, the negatives of this game. I really don't have to spend too much time on this one. I have 3 words to say. The fucking water temple. Enough said. Okay, so what are my final thoughts about The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time? Wow. The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time is truly a masterpiece of a video game. This game has such a great story, such a great amount of dungeons to explore, and this game is truly an adventure. This game also has some very good side quests as well. There is a reason why fans consider this game the best Zelda game in all of the series. It has all the amazing qualities of what every Zelda game aspires to be! This game is a story progression game. Games like Breath of the Wild is more of a game that puts its gameplay before its story. While it's not necessarily a bad game, it's more to what you prefer. But anyhow, this was my favorite